Welcome Year 7 to the first tutorial in working with our Stijl clock. So today we'll need a variety of equipment. We'll need a junior hacksaw, some smaller pieces of opaque black acrylic. You'll need a jig for later on and a paintbrush for applying your Tensol Cement. You'll need some smaller pieces, squares and rectangles, of opaque coloured acrylic, and they should be covered, okay, in plastic on both sides at the moment. And you're going to need a white base, which looks like this just at the bottom. You need to make sure that your plastic does not have a covered film on it. So you've got to pick at the corners very carefully and remove that film. Once you've done that, you'll be working on that side. So this one's already been peeled off. You can tell it's got a lovely sheen to it. And we'll need to make sure we stick that on the base on there. So this is our Mondrian inspired design. So we've got this piece over here, which has already been stuck. Now you'll notice when I want to stick any of these pieces down, one side of the acrylic will need to have a covering on to stop it from scratching, as acrylic is quite vulnerable to getting scratched. But where we want to actually glue it down, we will remove this back in, and I'll show you that later. So on here, I've already stuck down a square of red acrylic peeled off the back and one line of the black, which you can just see going down there. Now, I recommend you start off with a piece in the corner so you can get your straight edges, and then you can build your design thereafter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply a piece of this blue. And I'm going to plan it out now, my design. So I'm probably going to add a piece there. It's really important that you don't just pack it full of colour. Let the white shine through, and you probably want to outline these with black as well later on. So let's say I'm going for this design on here, and I might just go for one on there. So when sticking down your acrylic, take your piece and you need to peel off the backing. Now this could take some time. You've got to be careful to make sure you catch the edge. That's it, and then peel it off. So that side, the shiny side with colour, will go onto your base like this. Position it, and then you're going to use our Tensol Cement. Now this, as you can see, comes with a range of different warnings. It is a solvent and it will evaporate, so when you are using it on your brush, if you don't dip it in the solvent again, it will go dry and crystallised. When you're not using this, the safety cap must go on the top, and you must make sure you wash your fingers at the end of the lesson to ensure there's no solvent left on your fingers, as again it can be a harm to health on there. Right then, so once you dip your brush very carefully into the Tensol Cement, you'll find it's just like water. So I'm just going to dip my brush in, then take your piece, 2 fingers hold in place, and then you're just going to run it across the side. So there's Tensol Cement on the brush. We're just going to run it down there. You don't need a lot of this. And then you're going to run it under there as well. And again, just to apply. Let's get a bit more. And then again, just once and twice. Now what that will do is that will stick that plastic to the surface. If you apply too much of the Tensol glue, as you can see on here, what happens is it leaks out and it just kind of corrode the acrylic, because that's how it seals it together. It kind of melts it to seal it together. So you can see there where the Tensol's gone over, so you don't want too much of it. These strips down here, it's going to be the same basis. One side keep your covering on, but the other side there, that's where you're going to stick down. So on here I might want to do a length across. I might want to map that out on there. Remember, it's either straight, horizontal or vertical lines. So say I want a piece this big, I'll take my jig. My jig will be placed in my vise, and I'll show you that in lesson. And then that goes on there. Then using the junior hacksaw, the jig holds it in place for us, and we can cut across that mark very easily. Once you've made a small indent, it is very simple then just to snap and break the acrylic. And of course then you can seal it onto your design. So have a look at the different examples in lesson. Think about layout and colour and so on and so forth. Don't overpack it, so you still want to see lots of white available in your design as well. And that concludes our first tutorial.